Next up, hey Coach Wendy, my knee's been bothering me on the bike for the past 3 months. First, it was just right leg, and now it's both legs, both knees. I got another bike fit last month and started physical therapy, and they mentioned it's stemming from my hips. My bike fitter suggested new bike shoes, and now I'm thinking about going back to riding my old bicycle. What are your thoughts on this situation?
Again, a great question and something I have a lot of experience with, especially going from riding a road bike for 16 or 17 years to my first tri bike in 2009. I had some fit issues because it was just a different type of fit. It was normally I feel it in my hips and my hamstrings. So my knees have always been healthy. So I think, you did the right thing by going to get refit. And even if, especially because it was a new bike, definitely it takes time to dial in the fit of a new bike frame, especially if it's a different model. As far as shoes go, I'm not the expert on cycling shoes, but something I'd also recommend is checking your pedals. So because you're riding a different bike, because you mentioned going back to riding your old bike, maybe if you switched brands of pedals, that could definitely impact your knees as well as bike fit. So check your shoes, check your pedals. If you're just not getting comfortable and definitely try your old bike and kind of do a comparison. And as far as your hips go, I'm not surprised because most triathletes and runners have weak hips, weak glute mediuses, and tight hip flexors, and everything's connected. So that can definitely be irritating your knees.
When I recently purchased a road bike, there was a different fit, or at least pedal stroke technique that I was advised to start doing on a road bike versus a tri bike because the geometry, or where the foot sits on the pedal
Mm-hmm.
and where the knee sits over the foot. And that was a big eye opener for me on how much power you can generate based on the position on the bike. Now, there was also an adjustment that the bike fitter was making on the angle of my heel versus my toe, or that type of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And so those kind of things will all line up to your hip. So if one thing's off, you're off center a little bit, or you're not aligned correctly, I can see how that would easily not just mess with your knees, but also your hip. And then you're going to have some back issues probably as well with how you're all positioned. So I don't know if it's the new bike shoes. It could just be the alignment of the shoes and where on the forefoot of under your where your toes are. What part of that foot is that called? The
Yeah,
yeah,
forefoot, ball of your foot.
yeah, wherever that may be. It could be too far forward, could be too far back. Depends on where that is positioning. Small adjustments can make a big difference on where the shoes are placed or the cleats are placed. Not necessarily the shoes, but the cleats.
Yeah, totally. And I understand because, again, I rode a road bike. My body was used to a road bike. So when I went to tri bike,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm going back to my road bike. So I understand the want and the desire to go back to the bike that didn't give you any issues. And it just, sometimes this stuff just takes time.
And he was also telling me that you can generate more power because of how your position is on the road bike versus a tri bike, because of the angle of your hips to your knees on you're sitting too much forward on the tri bike because of your angle of attack, you'd say, versus
Hmm.
sitting more upright where you can generate more power force going down on a road bike, which is like, oh my gosh, no wonder. Because I was concerned, hey, should I put a power meter on this road bike? Will I notice a difference? Will I be able to go faster, or will it be harder because I'm not in an aero position? And then so he was kind of educating me on that. I can't
Hmm.
fully explain it, but I understand the
Right.
differences between the two. Good question.